Hello, speed gaming fans and Final Fantasy fans everywhere. How is everybody tonight? I am the Hangry Canuck, and I am joined by Dengwu. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good this fine afternoon.
This is a big game here. This is game 3 in our round of our first bracket round. So it's either win or go home for these two runners.
It really is, and you know, they have done some crazy racing already. They've done some gentleman agreements, but today they've decided that they're going to do a no-holds-bar, just battle it out. Whoever's the best is the best and moves on. So this is going to be great.
Looks like Falconic is planning on 3-manning this off the start. I have a feeling ShadowWalker will probably dan somebody when he figures out what level 1 magic is. If level 1 white magic is no good, I have a feeling Sarah's going for a nap.
I could definitely see it, Dan. Yeah, the white mage. If no fade level 1 for sure. If it's, you know, white mage locked, like you said, exit could also be another potential chance of that. I mean, everybody loves war, but it's not quite as good as exit when you want to exit, you know, an ice cave that's really dangerous.
Yeah, exit is a big spell early on because it takes a lot of walking and a lot of risk out of some of these dangerous dungeons when you're low level. But we should be getting ready to get started pretty shortly, I would say. Joining us on the tracker, we have Danny. Thank you very much for tracking this fine match for us, and also like to thank Speed Gaming for allowing us to be on their channels.
Yeah, most definitely. And, you know, you the fans out there, give us some bless RNG for our two runners. Let's see our Lord and Savior, the robot chicken war mech, later on. I know it's early, but sometimes, you know, you have to ask for that early.
I think I want to see a quick floater seed. I'd like to see how these two would go about routing if they had the whole world open to them.
And the timer's clicking or ticking down. We got about 5 seconds, and then once the stream catches up for you guys, the fans, we'll be able to see what level 1 magic is, and we are off to the races here very shortly. I mean, I've already said it once, but I'm super excited about this.
Yeah, this is going to be one good match. Boat runners know they need to win, and they know they need to take risks to get it done. Tarnan wants to see an absolute garbage fire. That wouldn't be a bad thing either. Could have some fun with that.
An absolute garbage fire. Tarnan, only you would wish that upon ShadowWalker. I'm going to make sure to tell him about that too.
And here we go. We're going to get our first look at level 1 white magic. We have Invis, Pure, Alit, and Harm 2. Harm 2 is not bad. And in black, we have Break, Ice 3, Stop, and Bane. That is a loaded level 1 black.
It is. I would like to have seen Bane and Brack in separate spell lists, but hey, I'll take it. Why not? You know, the higher accuracy Brack, but you got the Bane that can AoE and Ice 3 to clear out things that you know for sure can kill. I'll take it.
Looks like Falconic picked up a weapon for his fighter too, small dagger. Checked out the armor shop, not enough money to buy anything there, so... Ooh, cabins are expensive. 400 gold for a cabin. So, we get our first look. Falconic is probably going to do the most famous, do the bridge first and come back for an inn.
And... you know, it's beginning to catch a lot of popularity, especially because it allows you to see what the first encounter is, too. The first and second encounters. If you can make it all the way to the bridge, you generally have a decently long encounter 1. Or, you know, you have a good amount of walking before that encounter 1. And as you've seen there, the second encounter was decently long.
Yep, so now we have Falconix off to the races. He will be the first one to make it to TOFR. We will get our first look at some chests, as well as garlic. Got some zombies here, trying to run. Zombies hitting pretty good, but with no armor, everything hits pretty good. We have a silver helmet, not a bad piece of armor for your fighter starting off. We have boat runners pretty well in sync now.
Yeah, Yeah, they're kind of doing a Temple of Fiends high five at this point.
Falconic putting that Harm 2 to use, and Iron and Shadow finds the Maz Moon. Wow, what a weapon to start.
And you know what's funny is because of the way they don't have any saves early on, you'll see a lot of people not do these chest checks because of that long run and the possibility of wiping. So because of this early check by these two runners, they are, they're getting paid off huge.
Yeah, now he's got lots. Garland's not going to last long now. Falconic picks up his Maz Moon and immediately puts it on his white mage. King gives us the loot, and the princess gives us the bottle. So not really anything leading you to go either way, so we can pretty much guess these runners will probably go to Matoya first and check Provoke.
I would definitely go that way at this point. The old Provoca could be new Gaia, and then you have the two chests over in Matoya. Yeah, you don't have any saves, but Imps haven't shown anything, and generally all this stuff's low enough where Bane and Ice 3 can kill them all.
Yep, we have ShadowWalker heading up that way first. Didn't find any money though, so I'm not sure if Falconic will have the money to revive his Light Warrior. We'll see. Oh, 8. Man, cheap life today.
Well, now Falconic is a poor, poor man. He spent it for a cabin now, and that fighter doesn't have any health because he couldn't save.
Toya with some money, a pure. So, not a bad play for the money. Can be able to get you some good save items there if Provoca turns out to be a town that has any. Turnin, I wouldn't think he would Dan the Red Mage, not with that level 1 black we seen.
Now in the pre-game chat, he did say he was going with a dumb party, a fun party. So maybe he is danning the Red Wizard and going with a 2-man strat.
Looks like ShadowWalker's going to be the first of our runners to reach Provoca. The unrunnable Grimps, Wolves. This could be a dangerous pack if they have anything.
Yeah, when you run into something with, 4 different enemies, that's four chances that one of them has a deadly spell. So, that's not good. But he's in Provoca and it's on.
And we have the bottle. But no Oxyale. Houses are just about as cheap as cabins are, so that's not too bad. Tents are super cheap.
Nothing is cheap here. Tents are almost double their normal price. As you said, though, the housing market, the houses are really good price, but that's about it.
Looks like Shadow's gonna get it in and probably make his way west from here. See what Falconic chooses to do.
I think he had to reset out. He made his way back after Matoya, that's right.
Yeah, he took Matoya, then he went back to Canaria to save. Shadow's already level 5 with his party. Doesn't look like he's danning anybody, though, at this point in time.
I like his decision to take fights on the way. I know I always have bad times trying to get levels early, but if you take these fights with Ice 3 and Bane, you can gain a good amount of experience. And when you can make it to Elflin, your casters now have access to level 3 magic, which is great in most cases, because if a nuke is hidden there, now you have a cast of it, instead of waiting.
Falconic's white mage went down, so we had to reset out. Meanwhile, ShadowWalker's back in Canaria. Gonna grab a soft. Not a bad idea in case you come up against something with Stone Touch. Looks like he might be trying to grab that iron armor as well. Or not, just selling a silver hat to get more money for stuff. Well, we'll see if the dwarves have any money as they swing by.
Yeah, so because of these early levels that Shadow's getting, red mages learn level 3 magic at level 6, and then at level 10 they finally learn level 4 magic. So by getting these early levels can pay off big as if Elflin is Elflin.
Or Provoca for that matter either. I'm hoping to see some town they don't really need though, like Lefane would be nice. Force them to go Marsh.
And then on top of that, a loose Oxyel, so then they have to go into this sea shrine early.
That would be truly masochist at this point.
I'm okay with this because I'm just a commentator at this point, and I get to sit back and watch them do all that stuff now.
ShadowWalker's at the decision point, but he's going to go to check Elfland out first, of course. Meanwhile, Falconic is now level 5, so he's catching up on levels 2. He's taking fights as he goes, so this is good. Ooh, unrunnable Grimps and Werewolves.
There's our bottle turn-in. Old Elflin is Gaia.
Well, that's pretty handy to turn the bottle in. I have a feeling the bottle could lead to canoe or ship, though. It's kind of scary.
Now, there was a very expensive silver armor for about 5,000. That's unfortunate, but that's pretty good armor for your red wizard. But chain armor works just as well.
Yeah, the chain armor is only, it's only like maybe 3 or 4 absorb less, I think. I don't think there's really a big... But we're going to get our first look at what the fairy's going to give us, and it is the canoe. So now there's a lot more open. This puts Ice, Volcano on the table now.
Welcome to chat, Inegren. How's it going? It's going good so far. We've found the loot from the king. Princess had the bottle, was drinking the bottle, which is why she got captured by Garland. But after talking to the tiny fairy, we opened up the entire inner continent with the canoe.
And we found the Mazmun early in TOFR, so that's the biggest find we can announce right now. Looks like boat runners are going to head east, probably check out, see what town Crescent Lake will turn out to be. Then what would your next move be, Dang? Would you dip the Volcano for the armory, or would you take a chance on Ice?
After checking out Crescent with Ice 3, I would be more than willing to go Volcano floor 1, and then, the armory, and depending on what's there, I might do Ice, just for the pure fact that Bane does decently well on most of the things, and if I can run away from any of the undead, shouldn't be much of a problem.
Looks like Falconic is going with the fighter white mage strategy here, which isn't bad. He's got the Mazmun now, so he's alright in that regard. But we have Melmond here at Crescent Lake.
And I think I've seen Bahamut hanging out, so the NP shuffle has been engaged in the seed. So the class change is in Melmond instead of where it usually is in Cardiail.
So that means either Dr. Un, the translator, or the Elfland herb feller are up in Bahamut's cave, as well as the next guy would be in Elfland Castle. And Tarnan wants to see an ice sword. Get that Mazza on white, ice on fighter. With a 2-man party like this, you can't take the Mazza off your fighter.
Now, it's interesting when I had said that, Falconic does have that harm too, so even if he goes up against those undead, he still has a way of taking them out, because ice spells just don't do that good against them, so it actually kind of works out in his favor by having that white maid.
Looks like we have ShadowWalker heading for the Volcano now. Progression has got to be here or ice, so see if he decides to check the whole thing or just the top floor. Meanwhile, at level 5 we have Life 2 and Cure 2. So Falconic's gonna be happy seeing that. Meanwhile, we're gonna get our first look here in Volcano. We got an ice shield. It's a good piece of armor for your fighter.
I love finding and a loose slab right there. So that was we don't have a way of turning it in though. I don't remember what Elfland Castle's NPC shuffle was because none of our runners checked it.
But that's gonna be a good check for them when they get out of Volcano.
But at the same time, they don't have access to Lefane, so it's kind of pointless at this moment.
That is also true. But yeah, that is true. And we got in chat, Elf Castle was Dr. Oon, so they will be able to get that slab translated. Meanwhile, ShadowWalker checking the hairpin chest. Gonna take out this fire first, though. With Ice 3, shouldn't be much of a problem.
Yeah, I think... Oh, a Sun Sword pickup. So, Volcano on these... I would say less likely checked spots of Volcano are paying off big right now with the Sun Sword and a loose slab.
Sun Sword is actually the second best weapon the Red Mage... Well, second or third best weapon the Red Mage can use, depending on how you look at the Vorpal, I suppose. But the good thing about the Sun Sword is you don't need class change to use it. They can use it right away. I'm sure Falconic will be picking that up shortly, as he is making his second way into Volcano.
It definitely helps ShadowWalker a lot more with that Sun Sword. Obviously, oh no, Falconic's good too, because then he can put the Sun Sword on his fighter if he wants, and that White Mage then will be wielding the Masa, just like Tarnin and Chad had asked for.
Falconic just picked up his slab. I'm not sure if he has the information on Dr. Oon yet, but like you said, they don't have access to Lefane, so that's probably not big on their priority list right now. It's a bit of money, a Sun Sword, and a nice shield so far here in Volcano. Now we're about to come to the armory. Looks like Falconic's just grabbing those chests and going the other way. He's not going to go grab the hairpin. He may miss the Sun Sword if he doesn't go there. Tyrannex, that is a fighter for Falconic. Because in these flags, the fighter was forced as your captain, and the White Mage was forced as your first mate. And we do have the Black Mage band. And hello Lyra, welcome to the chat.
The Baroness is here.
It's a lot of money and a few low-level pieces of armor in the armory so far. Not much good there, so we'll see if these runners decide to dig any deeper, or are they gonna actually try ice. Because I hate to dig deeper in the fire if I know I can't take out Carrie. But you have the Mazmun, so an Ice 3. Yeah, you could try it.
You walk out, you save it, and then you make the dive, and maybe if the Agamas are low enough, you take a certain amount of fights. At least on Falconic's side, I would almost try it at this point. I mean, you're already running a fighter White Mage only anyways, so you need to take any gambles, you know, if you want to win this.
Ingram is pointing out in chat that it's hard to kill Carrie without a silver knife and a black mage.
You know what? I am corrected on that one. Absolutely right. If you don't have a silver knife, killing the carry is almost impossible. So,
Looks like Falconic is noping out of Volcano, so he's not going any deeper, as well as ShadowWalker. Or ShadowWalker was just burning off the fight, sorry.
I think he was making a decision. He looked at his items. He said, okay, well, the slab, I can get translated, but I can't do anything with it, so there's no point going there. Or do I go to Ice Cave, you know, and go searching with Ice 3 spells? Or do I make a dive deeper in Volcano with an Ice 3 spell, which these enemies are weak against? And he decides Ice 3 dive is a much smarter idea.
No, Bill is down. I think Bill might stay down. Meanwhile, Falconic getting stun locked by these red goils. That's not good, especially with a two-man part. But if the fighter, oh, down, fighter couldn't stay unstunned. At least his characters are waking up quick, so he does have a chance, but
I think they're just teasing at Falconic at this point. They get back up, and then they go right back down on their knee again.
I think Falconic might have to reset out of this one. No, Ozzy gets away. Meanwhile, Shadow is digging deeper into Volcano now, checking out the 4th floor. Getting some money first off, some more money. Falconic is making out of there to save, I would think, more than likely. I'm not sure if he got his Sun Sword or not, though.
White shirt by ShadowWalker, so that will be nice if Falconic checks now. Falconic is leaving. He doesn't have anywhere to go for shop items unless he goes all the way back to Provoca. Or, I'm sorry, Elflin or Provoca, because yeah, he's almost out of heals. He can't do another dive.
I agree with Demon Walker. Finding that white shirt now actually makes carry a lot more doable than it did before. And we have a cabin. Falconic's back to restock up on his healing items. Can only think he will make another dive at the Volcano afterwards. He just wants to restock. Ooh, a short sword and 5 grand. So there's lots of money available on this seat so far, but nothing to spend it on.
And Falconic actually brought back his red mage, but didn't equip him with anything.
Yeah, that's funny. Maybe he's abandoning his two-man strats now that he's seen those stun-touched Argoyle. Meanwhile, we have ShadowWalker here at the Agamas. Little tough. Took a Mazmoon shot and a Sunsword. But they didn't seem to have anything too dangerous, so we'll see if he decides to grind. Nope, he's gonna keep going. Looks like Falconic is heading back towards the river, so we'll see if he decides to try ice, or is he gonna go back to the Volcano? This encounter table looks rough at the start, and it looks like he is heading for ice.
Yeah, I guess he must have kept the red mage. I'm not entirely sure why he kept the red mage, but, I mean, at least the white mage has harm spells, so...
Did he not pick up the light axe? Or am I thinking about the scene I was just watching?
I think you're thinking of the siege you were watching.
Either way, ShadowWalker hasn't found nothing down below. Oh, and bowls with stone type. And glance.
Well, that's not very nice of those bulls. Bullying ShadowWalker like that. Hopefully he's got some softs. I know he had some money there and he did buy some camping equipment. Alright, he's got 4 of them. He's good.
Yeah, he had bought some softs back in town, and this is why. Planning ahead is always a good thing when you're playing these randomizers. And ShadowWalker at level 13 already. He is about to take on the first Fiend at the 22-minute, I'm going to say about 30-second mark by the time he gets there.
And that's actually big. I know he's about to take it on, but Masa gets its 4th hit at level 12, so that's really big for that fighter.
Looks like he's going to put up the defenses. He's going to invis the fighter with the white shirt and just come out swinging. 4 hits, 150 from the Maza. White shirt goes out. Invis went out. Carry takes a swipe. 5 hits, 98. Stun touch on Carry. Ooh, that could be bad.
I swear, every single time, Carry has a paralyzing touch.
So he's putting up more defenses. He should be fully defense capped now. Oh, Carry hits right through it with a crit, but the fighter stands up. Looks like more defenses and more swings. Fighter 2 hits 14, down again. Well, he's going to have to come out swinging with the Sun Sword and go on heal pot strats now. Oh, fighter's back up. Fighter's not down, but he's down. Four hits 194 from the Mazmoon. 2 hits 19 from the Carry with a miss. Comes back from the Sun Sword. 2 hits 8. Dave with the Mazmoon. 4 hits 376. Carry's dead. Looks like Falconic hit some Spectres with Lit too. That's never a good thing in ice. ShadowWalker is the first one to light an orb at the 24-minute mark.
And, you know, it's interesting. ShadowWalker got a good turn order where his fighter actually woke up from that paralyze in time for Carry's attack, because that attack could have killed him easily, since when you're paralyzed you don't evade.
That is also correct. Falconic now digging out some more ice. Looks like he's skipping random chests along the way. I think he just wants to see what the incentivized chest is, maybe do a quick eye grind, and he'll pick everything up on the second pass through.
I think that's a really good thing, because he needs those levels to be able to absorb those lit too. And
unrunnable mummies and cockatrice. That's not good. But the Ice 3, ooh, Ice 3's not too good against the mummies though. So it looks like he's gonna have to take them out with the Mazmoon swing. He doesn't have much for his red mage to do because he did not pick up that Sun Sword.
yeah, he missed that little windy road in the Volcano armory floor where the Sun Sword was located at, so he wasn't able to give that red mage that Sun Sword.
So it looks like ShadowWalker now is in Gaia. He's just on rack, just fixing up his equipment, getting some potions, saving. See what he decides to do. He's got to do ice. Ice is all that's left on the table for him. So if this ain't the ship or the floater, that means one of them could be loose somewhere.
But the ship is found in the ice cave, so instead of the airship, we get the sea ship. And we don't have to go into Marsh looking for a loose item at this point.
Now looks like Falconic is going to take on a bit of an eye grind here, so we'll see how high he decides to go. I figure about 15, 16 maybe, then he'll get out. The eye's pretty easy to take down with the Mazmoon. Meanwhile, we have ShadowWalker heading for ice. So what, we got some downtime here. Good chance to make sure you give these runners a follow, as well as our tracker, Danny, my partner on the mic, Dengwu, and me, the Hangry Canuck, for bringing all this good action to you. As well as a huge shout out to Speed Gaming and all their wonderful restreamers that allow us to bring this action into your homes. Looks like Falconic hit an off-tile enemy, and oh no, he stopped his grind. And looks like the trap tile took out his red mate.
In Hawk, we believe, will he be able to run out? I think so. I mean, a fighter is pretty durable, but if Hawk can't run from those giant packs, he can be worn out pretty quick. And poor Falconic intentionally stopped grinding at level 14, but because of the chance of him dying from not running when he lost his red mage, had to take that one fight and gained a level. So now his idea of getting that level 15 class promotion with Tail and being able to get that early charge is no longer in the works.
Yeah, that's never a good thing. Now you'll have to wait till I think it's level 21 if he class changes. Meanwhile, ShadowWalker making his way through, taking some fights. Falconic looks like he's going to check the chests he missed. Not sure if he checked the 6-room chest on the bottom, on the last floor though. I don't think he did. I think he skipped it. Yeah, Demon Frog, it is area level starting at 15 if you class change before 15. If you class change after 15, it starts a little bit later. ShadowWalker should be in good shape to check out this ice cave. Spectre's throwing the heat, but with the harm 2 on the white mage, he should be okay. Mazmoon putting in some work, getting Falconic past these Hydra.
So unfortunately for Falconic, because Crescent is Melman, he cannot resurrect his team members there, but because the ship was found in Ice Cave, he gets to go to Provoca where the ship will be, and he can actually resurrect his light warriors there. So it's kind of like an all-in-one stop there.
ShadowWalker is going to check the chest that Falconic missed, so if something does show up in these chests, this could be bad for Falconic. Looks like the Frost Dragons are pretty tough, taking the 388 shot from the Mazmoon and shooting back with some frost. Down goes Bill again. Looks like Falconic just bringing up the White Mage, so he is going 2-man White Mage fighter from now on. Unless he's taking turns bringing one up at a time when the other one dies.
For the question chat from Crabcakes, we're not actually sure what Volcanic's doing. He's kind of been just swapping out what mages he uses. Like when he did the ice dive, he did the grind with the red mage, and then yeah, I mean, we don't even know what he's doing at this point.
I think he's just taking turns. When the white mage dies now, he'll probably bring the red mage back. It's like ShadowWalker going to check this 6-room chest, get some money, an opal shield, a tent. Ooh, it's preemptive against the Frost Wolves, a silver dagger, and some more money. So Falconic didn't miss anything in ice. Looks like Falconic's take to the seas now, so I would imagine he would go check Melman, but looks like he's heading back down. He might want to turn that slab in. Or get it translated at least, in case he does find Lefane somewhere. So that's good routing by Falconic, so he doesn't have to do this and go back again. Meanwhile, ShadowWalker continuing to clear ice. I can't see him having much more problems with this place at the moment. And Falconic's off sailing to high seas again, which is the theme of this spring tournament this year. Looks like Falconic is going to give us our first look at Melman. We'll see what Melman is. And it's Provoca, so finally some level 2 magic. Wall and Harm 3, that'll be good for the white mage for sure. Now if Nuke is here in level 2, he might bring that red mage back. Fire 2, Rub, Zap, and Ice, I believe I see. And there he is bringing that red mage back again. Be interesting to ask him in the interview what his plans were with these mages.
That would probably be one of the first questions, and I know the chat's going to want us to ask him that question too, because maybe he just doesn't have a plan. He's just like, maybe I'll res it now. Maybe I won't. But at this point, he kind of had to, or these pirates were going to take 9 rounds.
That's true as well. Let's see what Bicky has. Oh, Bicky has the Opal Cheerio. That's actually a bonus for Falconic if he's 2-manning this. ShadowWalker is about to get his boat now and take to the high seas, so we'll see what he does first. Looks like he is checking to see if he needs to restock anything, and that's what he is about to do right now.
He definitely doesn't need that gold bracelet now that he's got the opal, or in your case, the opal Cheerio. He's got the he's got the opal Cheerio. He doesn't need the gold Cheerios anymore.
I've called it a Cheerio since I was a young guy and I started playing this game, and I don't have a clue why.
When you were a wee little lad, you used to call it an opal Cheerio.
Yep, I was fairly young when this game came out, I think. Meanwhile, we have some hags with trance. Getting our first look at the sea monsters here, which could be bad. And it looks like Demon Frog and Crab Cakes call them rings. They actually look like rings in Final Fantasy IV and stuff like that.
I was just about to ask, where's Falconic going? Is he going to the Ryokan Desert? Or did he forget to... No, he translated the slab.
Yeah. Looks like he is heading for Crescent Lake. I don't know what he thinks. He must be just looking for armor, I'm guessing.
Pro rings. I forgot about the pro rings over there. That's kind of important. The protection from death spells is always nice, so, and the absorbs that it gives, so that makes sense. Might as well pick up the pro ring.
Looks like he's equipping his fighter and his white mage with one, so ShadowWalker coming across some Quaizukus, just icing them down. So now it's interesting to see what ShadowWalker's gonna do. He's gonna check Melman, and is he gonna head towards Onrak and those places, because they do have the canoe. And they found the only town right now that they can get an incentivized item back, because with these flags, there is no early confused old men. You do have to beat Lich in order to get the item from the confused old men.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is they do have access to ordeals, waterfall, and Falconic is making his way over to Waterfall.
Yeah, in this situation, you definitely want to do your incentivized locations first. Because basically, that rod is going to lead to your next key item out of a town, right? So, there's not really a lot of sense town hunting at this point, unless you're looking for Elfland for level 3 and 4 spells.
And Falconic is going to do Ordeals. Now, I don't remember all the spells that he has. I know he has Ice 3, Bane, and Brack. And he's got harm spells on his magic, so it's not terrible. But the Red Mage definitely is not going to be casting a lot since he doesn't have the Sun Sword where he can just attack things.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get rid of the Red Mage because he didn't equip him with a Pro Ring or anything else. So I think the Red Mage is going down in a second. Meanwhile, ShadowWalker is going to pick up his Fire 2. And is he going to pick up anything else? And going to get Zap as well for his Red Mages. So that...
Yeah, for reprogram in chat, up in that top middle, the fighter is the captain of the ship. The first mate was the white mage, and the poor black mage walked the plank and was kicked off the ship. So that's the reason why he's got the X on him.
Well, God, he tried to nuke the ship down. No wonder they kicked them off.
Yeah, generally, wooden ships don't do well with fire spells, so we had to kick him off the ship.
As well, if you're new to the randomizer, or new to watching any of these matches, these pillars here are randomized. It's not like in vanilla where you just go to the bottom one. These pillars can take you to anywhere in the castle at this point in time. And without warp, you can be almost at the end and get sent back to the start like that. And there's those Gargoyles with Stun Touch. And there goes the Red Mage, and he's in Stun Lock again, and he resets right away. Like ShadowWalker's making his way towards Onrak? Yep. So we're gonna get our first look at Onrak. Onrak turning into Lefane, and he has the slab translated, so this is a good spot to find Lefane at the moment. To get the Shine, which gives us access to the Mirage Tower as well. So now ShadowWalker, if he decides to do Waterfall, which it's looking like he's not going to, which I find funny for some reason. It makes me wonder why he didn't do Waterfall. Maybe he doesn't feel safe with his levels?
I mean, I gotta admit, walking out of waterfalls, I mean, walking in is dangerous as alone, but walking out of it too, you know, you have to go through that trap tile twice. Nightmares he hasn't seen yet, they can be a problem, especially with sleep and stone poison. Oh, and paralyzing touch? Yeah.
And Fire 2 and Ruse. So the Masmon isn't going to do you much good in this situation. And Slow 2. Wow, these Nightmares are living up to their name. I'm not even sure if Falconic bought any soft potions when he was in town either.
Volcanic makes it away from the Apocalypse ponies, but he's got to breathe a big sigh of relief also, because that was intense. And ShadowWalker... Yep, ShadowWalker's making the play to Mirage, as you were about to point out.
Looks like he wants the chest density first. Hopefully to get a good armor, some weapons, a loose item. I kind of don't like this play though, with 2 incentivized locations open. I mean, you got Massa. I mean, I don't know. Could be looking for caster items, I guess, because you really don't have any good spells yet.
Falconic found the Aegis Shield, So that's a nice after-class promotion. We get to see the vampire-shaped speed bumps over on the right-hand side with ShadowWalker.
It's like Falconic's found a loose tail in Ordeals. So we have 2 loose and the rod. Wow. Ordeals is stacked. That is now going to open up Earth for another key item. So now with only 1 loose left, you got the rod. Would you go mode Earth? Or would you check chest still?
I would have to check them. I mean, we're still looking for the power bonk of sorts, at least. I mean, I know it's not the most important thing to get the power bonk, but for Falconic, it's kind of important. Since he's going to go with the 2-man strats with no black magic, you need something to power up his attacks.
Still have not found our floater yet either, so... Makes me wonder where Falconic's off to now. Meanwhile, ShadowWalker cleared the first floor, didn't find a whole bunch of didn't find anything of major importance, so we'll see if he goes back in to check second floor. Looks like he is.
It's kind of interesting on Falconic's side, he didn't do Waterfall when he was there.
Neither did ShadowWalker. They were both there and neither of them did it.
I mean, I kind of understand it from ShadowWalker's side, to a certain degree. But since Falconic's already done Ordeals, I would have kind of felt, although he wants the class promotion, so I guess I can't hate it. It's a bit of a journey, but he might have a plan.
Well, it will allow him to get better armor on his fighter at the moment. Meanwhile, ShadowWalker's having some problem with some vampires again, but these are good experienced fights when you're just checking. This will get him some good levels and put him in good position for Volcano, so you can kind of see where this play turned out.
Now for Lyra in chat, Falconic doesn't have the white shirt. That was deeper in Volcano that Falconic hasn't gone down to look for yet. And the longer he waits, he may not check a lot of chests going down.
ShadowWalker checking the greater than less than room and finding a bunch of money and a bunch of useless stuff, so he's gonna know about. So he's not keeping those levels he did get. So now we'll see boat runners taken to the ocean again, so we'll see where they decide to go next. They do have several options in front of them, so. Looks like Falconic might be making his way towards... Yeah, I think he's making his way towards Onrak now. Looks like he's drunk driving that boat, though. Looks like he's not handing that bottle in. I think he's drinking himself.
They're drinking and driving with that boat around. All that rum.
It's like ShadowWalker is heading back towards the waterfall as well, so we may see a high five here in Waterfall. St. Von Jester, nope. Nobody has been to Marsh yet. Canuck is not drinking today because Canuck drank the last 2 nights in a row, so Canuck's taking it easy. Oh, looks like ShadowWalker isn't going to Onrak. Ooh, he's heading to the old Melman. I wonder if he's making the Earth's play.
He's got it. He doesn't have the rod though, so he must be gambling that this, as Falconic gets a chime, he must be doing another gamble here. Maybe forgot about ordeals. I mean, I don't know. He was in the area multiple times.
I mean, with ordeals and waterfall on the table, with incentivized items, to dive the top floor of Earth, that is a risky play. That could set him back if it doesn't pay off. Meanwhile, Falconic is going to give us our first look at the waterfall.
Now, we do know that waterfall is going to be very dangerous just because of the Apocalypse ponies, the nightmares. They have squints, they have paralyzing touch, they have sleep, they have stone poison. They are just dangerous altogether.
Falconic has brought that red mage back again. But I do believe he has life too now. So we have Falconic and Waterfall, we have ShadowWalker and Earth. Who do you give the edge to at this present moment?
Right now, Falconic, he's doing well, or exceptionally well at the moment. I don't know how far ahead, since ShadowWalker kind of depends on what he finds here in Earth Cave. I don't know what he can find, though, to put himself in a better position. But I think Falconic's got a decent-sized lead at this moment when he did ordeals.
I mean, there's only one loose item left, so checking the top floor of Earth and maybe diving deeper if he decides to, that could be a waste of time. A big waste of time. Meanwhile, Falconic with the hero run. A little combo pack going on here, but with Harm 3 and the Mazmoon, shouldn't be too hard to take it. They were pointing out the Ice Sword is the baby's first Vorpal. Looks like ShadowWalker is going deeper into Earth. I'm completely unsure about this play.
I mean, from us watching and stuff like that, it's hard to say that. And there's our floater from the robot. So, I mean, Falconic's looking better and better. Once he gets that airship, he's going to extend his lead at this point. The longer ShadowWalker continues this, unfortunately, it's going to be an exponential increase of his lead.
Definitely. And Falconic has found baby's first Vorpal as well. A nice sword. Lyra, you were the smart one. I wish I never started. Yep, ShadowWalker's going to continue his full clear of the top of Earth. See if Falconic can actually get out of the volcano now with the waterfall with this floater.
Honestly, I think he's going to be okay again. Now, we really didn't see much, and now that he's class promoted, his knight is pretty well protected against the nightmares. So, he should be alright.
Yeah, Falconic is putting himself in great shape right now. Got all the incentivized locations done. He's got the rod, he can go full clear Earth, he can pretty much go mode Earth if he wanted to. Really the only things he's missing would be the bonk, the white shirt, but he might get that volcano.
Yeah, and the important thing is with these flags is you can't do the early sage turn-in that a lot of these runners might be used to, where you can just talk to the sages and you get your key item. Now you actually have to kill Lich, and because he has the floater now, he can do Earth Cave and then talk to the sages since it is floater locked.
And it looks as if Falconic is putting that red mage out to die again. I think he only brings him back when he needs him for a dungeon. Very smart move on his part. ShadowWalker continuing Earth, hasn't come across anything of any value yet, so he'll probably nope out if he doesn't. Now we have Falconic on the go. Can only assume he's going to head to the Raiken Desert, get his floater, get in the air, get the rest of his checks done.
And, I mean, for me, watching what Shadow's doing reminds me of, you know, I hate to say it, my race with Tarnan yesterday. You know, that's just how it ended up. You know, you just end up going in the wrong direction when you're in the right direction, and the other person gets this exponential lead on you.
Yeah, because ShadowWalker was at the waterfall and decided not to go in. He was there before Falconic. So had he had went in the waterfall, he would have been in a lot better shape than Falconic is at the
moment. Welcome back to the group there, Doogie MacGyver. Friends don't let friends dive Earth. That's right. Without the rod, don't dive Earth.
Looks like Falconic is heading towards Onrak again? No, never mind. What am I talking about? He's gonna get his airship. Now, you got the airship. What's your first step?
For me, Sarda, and then from Sarda, I would do possibly Lich at this point since I can kill him. And then I can do the whole top portion of the stuff. Maybe kill Carrie before going north.
All good options. I think I'd finish the bottom of the map first, because you're already down here. So like you said, get rid of Volcano, get rid of Earth. Then head north. And it looks like he's going to Volcano. We'll see if he decides to check that chest he missed. ShadowWalker still going to Earth and not finding much. He's going to be extremely disappointed in himself if this play doesn't turn out, I believe. Looks like Falconic is not going to check that hairpin chest, but since he's not really bringing his red mage up too often, I guess it doesn't matter about the Sun Sword. We'll see if he decides to check chest down on the next floor.
Since he went this early, I think he will. He already has the class change. Ooh, Dragon Armor for ShadowWalker. That's good for later on. But, I mean, you know, he's got to get to that point now to be able to make use of that.
So last chest for ShadowWalker to check. Unless he's got the rod and we don't know it, but we know he hasn't been to Ordeal, so he doesn't have it. And Falconic is continuing to check chests, and he picked up his white shirt. And he's going to be a happy man now. Although he won't equip it because he does have the Opal bracelet already, so. ShadowWalker nopes out of all that. I'd say he wasted a good 15 minutes on that dive.
It was definitely a bit of time, but at least he knows he was in the right area, so he'll make his way down. Shadows with stone poison. He makes his way out of Earth and takes a wipe in the outer world. That's unfortunate.
Falconic still digging Volcano, not finding much, still just a white shirt, but we know what's down here, so we know there's not much.
Yeah, I think at this point he's searching for the power bonk, I would say, and ribbons for sure. He definitely wants his hair to be pretty and resist to all those elemental spells.
See what ShadowWalker decides to do next. He's heading south. One can only think he's got to do Ordeals or the Waterfall. So there was only really two places to go now.
I mean, the only other option is he goes down to Marsh. Does he make the Marsh play? Some, you know, but I don't see him making that Marsh play after, you know, doing these two things where he went to Mirage and then he went to Earth gambles. I don't think he'll gamble. I don't think he will gamble a third time.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see either of these players go to Marsh unless it's absolutely necessary. If they're in go mode before Marsh is done, they're not going to Marsh.
And I lied. He's going.
Wow. This kind of makes me... I'm kind of laughing at this, and it's probably not true, but I wonder if the streams are flipped. Because this does not seem like plays ShadowWalker would make. This more seems like you do if you're just having fun with the game.
You don't be one of those things is where you overthink the play. You know, you try and be cute. I think some runners do that. You know, we quote unquote call it gamble, but the runner just tries to overthink the seed, and he makes these wild dives that, you know, you just kind of question.
Like Falconic taking on Carry. Carry not hitting for much with the Masmuin walled up class change. Carry shouldn't take too long for Falconic to dispatch. But with no ribbons, that wall spell is going to be huge as well. Because that wall spell is like a ribbon for a fight. And down goes Carry pretty easily. The only way I could see this paying off for Shadow is if he finds the third loose in here and it's required. Because you know Falconic ain't going to Marsh without a key. And if the key is in here, loose, then advantage back to ShadowWalker. We'll see what Sarda has for us, and Sarda has some TNT. So it looks like Falconic will be making a trip back to the Dwarfs.
Now, yeah, it kind of depends on what Falconic wants. Does he do Earth? No, he's just gonna go and turn in a TNT. So he has a potential it double dip or triple dip into the Dwarf Cave since he doesn't have the adamant. Or maybe he gets the lazy dwarves.
Yeah, you kind of have to do the chest check. You have to do the quest chains right now. He's got no incentive. Look at that. There's the key. But you kind of have to do the incentivized, like the quest chains now, because all your incentivized locations are done except for Marsh.
Well, true, but you can also do Earth Cave, and that leads to another incentivized plus, and then try and do it all in one go. But in this case, it was actually the better play. Now he's got the key, he can do Marsh and Earth, and get kind of like everything all in one little area now.
Yeah, and also by doing the chest checks, that makes him less likely to have to check any chests in Earth, right? Because he knows where his items are. He knows this third loose could be a ribbon, it could be nothing they need. Looks like he's going to check the TOF chests first, though. Which we know trap tiles by gargoyles, but they shouldn't be much of an issue at this point in the game. Looks like ShadowWalker's a little confused about what's going on here. Tarnin, the key was given to us by the TNT. Looks like ShadowWalker noped out of Marsh, not finding anything good in there. And nothing in TOF, so Falconic nopes out. We can only figure Falconic's going to do all these chest checks. Hoping for a super easy power bonk.
Yeah, he might go, because I think he still has to do Elfland Castle's lock chests. He'll do that, maybe path into Marsh Cave and then do Earth Cave. I know I've been pushing the Earth Cave play, but with the rod, you might as well with the key item. There's the power bonk, so, I mean, his knight is looking pretty good. He just needs ribbons at this point.
Basically, he is fairly well in go mode at the moment. But there's still a lot of game to go. Shadow is now finally heading for deals where he is going to pick up his his loose tail as well as his rod. And then he's going to be sorely disappointed he actually went Earth first.
Yeah, he's probably going to kick himself a little bit, but who in this community of racers has, never done anything like that or, forgotten to talk to somebody? So, the racing pressure, it gets to you. Even when you're laid back, there's an amount of pressure to it that just causes you to do weird stuff or forget stuff. And there's our second ribbon, I think, our first ribbon.
I probably shouldn't talk about anything. I'm the guy who forgets to turn the crystal in. And double dives Marsh because he forgot to turn the crystal in looking for a key item. No, looks like he is going Marsh. One can only think he's probably just gonna go straight to the incentivized chest stuff. He really can't be looking for anything more. One ribbon, but he's got the wall spell, so the ribbon's not overly important.
The ribbon, though, is really good because it helps to protect you against those random encounters. I mean, you're not going to cast wall on every single encounter you run into. So the ribbon is just there for always having that protection against those random things that might have instant deaths.
Yeah, but I'm not going to hinge my race on it. I'm not going to go checking chests that are way out of the way and waste me time when I know I got that wall spell.
And that's the thing is you have to make those, calculations or guesses, or you want to call it gambles. How bad is Topher going to be? How bad is, those sorcerers in Sky or the Catmen,
Shadow got wiped in ordeals by the Nightmare's stone. And I believe they had Squint as well. That is bad.
Now, because ShadowWalker did not go to Waterfall, he did not see the dangers of the Nightmares, so he got his first look at them, and they are dangerous if you don't have the ribbons.
Looks like Falconic is full clearing the bottom marsh. Hasn't found anything interesting yet, so... But we'll see what the incentivized item is shortly. Nightmares again stoning his party. And then Paralyzed Touch. Wow, those Nightmares are not playing around.
No. They have 3 or 4 spells that all do different things. It is actually crazy the amount of stuff that those Nightmares have.
They're the real gatekeepers. They're the real MVP.
And they're everywhere, to be completely honest. You find them here in Ordeals, you find them in Waterfall, you find them in Mirage and Sky, so you gotta be careful of them.
Yeah, they are basically everywhere. Looks like Falconic's still clearing. Not too much interesting to say yet. And especially when they first strike and they put you to sleep. And they have fire too! Holy! Looks like Falconic's about to check out the incentivized Ruby.
I mean, I don't remember what Falconic got from this Marsh Cave, but I'd almost be tempted to just reset out, and he might do it after this.
Well, there's still 1 loose and 4 chests. But I mean, I think I'd know about it too. And just hang my hat that there's gonna be nothing in those 4 chests. ShadowWalker picking up his loose tail along with some money. And welcome to the chat, Will Cleosis. And there's his rod. Now we can only imagine what he's thinking right now, especially after full clearing the top of Earth.
I mean, the important thing is where does he go here? Hopefully he doesn't follow that rod and goes to Earth now. Hopefully he goes to Waterfall and talks to the robot to get his floater. If he goes to Earth, he's going to fall even farther behind at this point. He might not catch up. But looks like he's going to Waterfall.
He's in the area. You almost have to make the Waterfall play. I mean, If you don't make the waterfall play now, and you do make the earth play, and you don't get the floater, then that's a long trip back to the waterfall.
Oh, I know it is, but remember, he's already done a bunch of gambles. He went into the Marsh gamble after after 2 failed gambles. His mindset might be slightly messed up at this point, and he might make that dive. I don't want to say messed up, but he might be disturbed enough where he makes that dive anyways into Earth.
That is true. He could be on tilt right now after these gambles not paying off. And to answer Will Cleosis' question, no sign of the Vorpal yet, but we did have the Mazza in TOFR at the very beginning. So we don't need the Vorpal anymore.
That is a good point by Tarnin. ShadowWalker did check Caravan. I didn't see it from Falconic side. I don't remember it. Maybe if you've seen it, the Canuck. But unfortunately, there was no shop item there. But it was a good check.
Have we even found the shop item yet?
No. So I think it is at Crescent.
So it would have to be
Crescent or Elfland.
Yeah, so it's either going to be Crescent or Lefane, like Gaia or Lefane, regular. Because Falconic hasn't checked either of those, and he's the only one with the airship at the present moment, and he is now diving his Earth, so...
Yeah, so old Gaia or old Lefane, they're either going to be Elfland or Crescent. One of them has a shop item, so... I mean, that's the only reason why I had suggested noping out of the Ruby at this point, at least for Falconic side, is he's already got 1 ribbon, he's got the power bonk to run with his White Mage Knight, combo. I mean, what was in Marsh Cave in the bottom that, was worth saving? Nothing. You don't have the exit spell. Reset out.
But all Falconic needs for go mode now is the cube. And a ribbon. If you find a cube and a ribbon, well, he's absolute go mode. But you do have that incentivized area left, right? So I agree with you with the Ruby. I probably would have noped out a Marsh after that. But I like what Falconic doing this Earth play first, because now when he goes and checks Gaia or Lefane, if Lefane would have happened to be Crescent Lake and he didn't do Earth first, that would have been a double trip. Now we won't have to make that double trip.
It was interesting, yeah, because, we see Crabcake saying it, and ShadowWalker gets his floater, so he's about he's about 5 minutes away, because he's got to walk his way out of this waterfall. Sarda gave the TNT, so he's been kind of stuck in this southern end of this continent because of that. The TNT led to the key. He checked all those locked chests, and then he did Marsh because it's incentivized. Now you might as well do Earth since you're in the area, and then you can make your way north at that point.
Yeah, because Falconic's... Oh, and Bulls with Glance.
Doesn't he have the Aegis Shield? Or was that ShadowWalker that found the... No, it was ShadowWalker that found the Aegis Shield.
Yeah, and I believe he's got the ribbon on the White Mage at this point in time. He's giving the White Mage to Mazmun and giving the defense to the fighter. I don't know if you call that a veteran move, or... Meanwhile, ShadowWalker is walking his way out of Waterfall. As long as he doesn't hit any of the nightmares, he should be okay getting out of here. Looks like Falconic is actually full clearing Earth, so... We know he's not going to find anything in the upper floors, but...
Yeah, the only thing Falconic needs to check is the Earth tile, Earth trap tile that's just before the vampire. The dragon armor is there.
But I just see him, he passed up a few chests now, so... it looks like he's going to check this floor. Finds a giant sword he doesn't need. Meanwhile, ShadowWalker ambushed by some mummies here, trying to get away. And ShadowWalker is clear of the waterfall with his floater. So one can only guess he's going to go straight to get his floater. And then he's got a lot of catch-up to do. He's got to think he's behind by now. Especially doing the waterfall this late. And you know your opponents usually do waterfall earlier. So would you think you're way behind right now if you're ShadowWalker?
Considering I took 3 gambles, they didn't pay off, yes. I mean, he's a good enough player where he can make the catch-up because he has a lot of that information. He's, you know, when he gets the key, he's going to go straight towards that incentivized location. He may end up checking out Gaia. If that's level 3 and 4, you know, Elflin, he might get the exit spell and be able to just exit out once he gets it.
Yeah, that'll be good for ShadowWalker to finally get in the air. Falconic is checking all these chests, so it's looking like he is going to find his dragon armor, which will help his defense immensely, because that will kind of take the place of a ribbon in the elemental defense. Don't know if you guys can hear that cat crying in the background. If you can, I'm sorry.
The other shadow, yes. ShadowWalker dove Mirage without the cube. He dove Earth without the rod. And he also dove Marsh without the key.
Looks like Falconic's about to pick up that dragon armor, so he's gonna be happy when he sees that. Good upgrades. Funny he hasn't equipped the power bonk though. You can equip the power bonk on your fighter.
That's because of the pro ring he has equipped. Right now he doesn't really need to, you know, use the temper or the saber on his character. He needs that protection from all those insta-deaths.
And I agree with Will. You can't count ShadowWalker out. I mean, TOFR. If TOFR is anything crazy, and Falconic's only got, because he's only got the 2 party members, it could be ShadowWalker's advantage that he still has all 4 upright. ShadowWalker now has his class changed, so he can move some good items around as well as some armor. We're pretty sure he remembers where the dragon armor is, so we probably will be stopping to pick that up the next time he goes to Earth, one can only assume. Well, Falconic's full clearing Earth altogether. Like you pointed out, he can only be looking for that ribbon.
That ribbon, or there's still one more loose. So that could be the loose cube that's available, I believe, still. Unless the ribbon was also loose, then in that case, then adamant would turn into cube.
As well as Oxyale is still out there.
Ah, yes, Oxyale. I was looking over and I seen the fairy in the bottle and I thought it was the bottle. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, there's one loose and there's 2 incentive locations left.
And if those incentivized locations, one of those incentivized locations holds your cube and Oxyale, well, then your 3rd loose item is pretty well going to be the adamant and it's going to be not required. Looks like Shadow is making the Earth play again. It's probably going to skip everything but the dragon armor and hit lower floors.
And I like what ShadowWalker's doing. He didn't check Sarda, so he doesn't have the key. So, unfortunately, hopefully he goes to Sarda here very quickly so he can... Oh no, yeah, you still need a key, because that's how you complete the game. Key is one of those important items. We found out, once you travel back 2,000 years in the past, that the door is actually locked and you can't exit out of the door without the key.
Yeah, once you use the loot to remove the plate, that door there is locked by the Mystic Key. If you do not have the Mystic Key, you cannot go any further. So Falconic is going to full clear the earth here. ShadowWalker hot on his heels.
Yeah, the good news for ShadowWalker is he's already done it. He knows where the dragon armor is. He's going to have one more forced encounter that he's going to take just because of the dragon armor. And then he's going to be clearing the same as Falconic on the 4th floor of Earth because of the potential items there. You know, he still has to find the, the last loose item. He doesn't know what it is.
And Kraken points out, Dan is back down, thanks to some lightning to specters. And Falcon is going to bring him back to life. I'm going to ask him what he was doing with these mages, keeping one down, bringing them back.
He's using the best heal in the game, the Life 2 spell. Whenever the red mage dies, bring him back to full health.
Putting the Mazmoon back on his fighter for the carry fight, one can assume. Lich, sorry, my bad. Falconic is... If Falconic finds a second ribbon, he is set weapon and armor-wise. There will be no more reason for him to look for weapons and armor. And he's still going to do all of Sea and all of Sky. So if he takes fights along the way, you know he's going to get his levels. Falconic has put himself in a very nice position right now.
I mean, that's one cool thing about running these smaller parties is you should be higher level than, you know, people running 4-man. So he's able to get those extra hits that the other characters or the other players' knights wouldn't be able to get.
Looks like Falconic is about to take on Lich. Stopped by some more oozes and a Black Widow. I agree with Crab Cakes. Falconic's been doing like 2.5 because he brings them up and down. We're going to get our first look at Lich here. Shouldn't be much of an issue with the Harm 3 and the Mazmoon. Forehead's 536. What a shot. Mazmoon wins every time. And that's Falconic's second orb at the 1 hour 20 minute mark. Now we can't do C because we do not have the Oxy Ale yet. So Sky would almost have to be his next place.
It is, but right now he's still got, you know, all the Cardi Isles to raid. He's also got the turn-in on Crescent. And he's got spells over in Elfland to do, too.
Yeah, if Crescent Lake turns out to be the cube, he's in go mode. Then he can just check for magic, level 2 to 3. But he needs the Oxy Ale still, so... A loose item is going to be required. That third loose. Oh, and Will, look what he just found.
I believe that's the game changer, some people call it. I hear it's a pretty good weapon, especially against bosses.
I can't even talk about it. It's a weapon. We'll just ignore the fact that he found it and carry on.
Now the dragons knew how important that the Vorpal was, so they hid it in their island.
So it looks like at Acardia Isles we got the Vorpal. So now it looks like Falconic is immediately going to head to Sky. Or not, he's going to check his towns first. So. And Gaia is Elfland. So let's get a look at some magic. Level 3 black is fast. Now, Falconic might not have that depending on the red mage situation. And there's some exit.
That's a very unfortunate that they get exit after getting floater, so they had to do the ordeals dive. They had to do the waterfall dive without exit and no warp. It's like the game teased them.
It's okay, Danny, I understand. You're just doing your job. I can let you off the hook for this one. We still haven't found our vendor item, have we?
Nope, it's going to be in Old Lefane, New Crescent, and so Falconic, when he makes that trip, he's going to get 2 key items there.
And there's life at level 4, but he's already got life 2, so... And level 4 black, we have Quake, Ice 2, Saber, Confused. So now Falconic gonna make his play towards Lefane, which we know will be Crescent Lake, and 2 key items. So if this is the cube and the Oxyale, pure go, you don't have to check another chest if you're Falconic. If one of these turns out to be anything but, then you have to keep checking chests.
I mean, unfortunately, one of them is going to be the adamant. Well, yeah, one of them's going to be the adamant, and one's going to be loose, I think, at this point, right? How does that work out? No. Well, you know, because we still have a loose ribbon. So, yeah. The adamant could turn into a ribbon, or it could turn into Oxyale or that, and we have a loose ribbon. So,
the only thing that would be cool is if this was the adamant, and then it turned into a cabin.
You're not nice. I'm gonna lock you up and tie him up. How dare you insinuate that a Stardust special is going to happen?
There's our Oxyale in the vendor spot. So now if these confused old men are hanging on to our adamant or our cube, Falconic is in go mode. Nuke level 6. Not useful to anybody.
I mean, yeah. Poor Nuke.
Looks like he's gonna talk to all of them before he finds it. And it's the oh, we forgot about the crown. So we got a bit of a fetch quest here on the go now.
Oh, for some reason I thought he'd already done the crown, and you're right. The kindly old king needs his crown returned to him.
And Crabcake Shadow is actually making up good ground. He's not that far behind right now. I'd say 1 wipe in tow for Falconic, and that could put Shadow back in the game. Once ShadowWalker goes to Sardia, if he makes the play to Sardia.
Yeah, he's got to remember he hasn't gone to Sarda yet.
ShadowWalker about to get his crown here.
Yeah, the vendor item was the Oxyale, and the crazy old men had stolen our kindly king's crown. That's not very nice. He's so nice to us.
Jed Levi. Yes, Falconic does have the key, but with this tracker here, the crown and the key are on the same spot. So since he got the crown after the key, it's just, that's where our tracker put it. And we got some adamant. So if this doesn't lead to the cube, then we know the cube is the third loose. Crabcake's asking, where was Bonk?
was in Meconaria locked. So until ShadowWalker gets his key, he cannot get the power bomb.
So now Falconic's going to turn in this adamant, which we can only figure is going to become our cube, or a cabin, or a crystal.
We just wanted to do more fetch quests. You know, it's kind of like the Dragon Ball Z episodes where there's a lot of, you know, powering up and stuff. Well, instead, it's a lot of traveling around in our airships, and then we finally get to the climactic end, where these two are going to high five at Matoya's.
For some herb. And we're on the road again.
And now they have to go to Corneria Islands to talk to the elf nurse, and then make their way back to Elfland Castle.
Can you imagine doing all this and getting a cabin? Wouldn't that be like the greatest thing ever?
And the only difference is Shadow hadn't done Corneria or the Cardia Isles yet, so he's gonna check around here.
Now Falconic's gonna head straight back to Elfland Castle. Give the herb to the prince. Not sure how that guy actually gave the herb to the prince from so far away, but we'll just we'll let that rest with the video game. And it's a ribbon.
I mean, for Falconic, that's okay. For us, the fans, it's even better, because now they have to go looking for this loose cube. For us, we know the cube is not in Mirage, since ShadowWalker's already checked. So, Falconic, I think, will check C first, just because he wants to get that orb lit. And, you know, it's an interesting thing is Titan might actually be holding that loose cube.
Yeah, because no one has checked those chests yet. Only Falconic has the ruby at the moment. But he's going water C first, which is the play to make. Cure 3 and Fog at level 7 white.
Cure 3 is available for the Red Wizard, so that's pretty nice. Can't argue.
Yeah, he's talking to Kobe. Surprised that guy's not bouncing the basketball.
Now, Falconic, oh, he took the interesting way. I was like, is he going to bypass this chest? Nope, okay. So he's going to go on the Kraken side, which makes sense. If you get the loose cube on the way, then you can just go mode C. If you don't, then you can check Mermaid side, and then you can leave.
That is true, Jed. But we'll see if Falconic finds the loose cube here, and we have ShadowWalker finally remembered to do so. So he will get his key now and be able to do his other checks.
I mean, the good thing is Shadow has exit now, so when he does do the marsh dive down to the incentivized location, he'll be able to just exit out, unlike Falconic that had to run it out.
Falconic's been 2-manning, 3-manning, 2-manning. He's no rhyme or reason for what he's doing with these mages at the moment, Will.
The ruby was found in the marsh locked, which ShadowWalker's about to go down. So
I got Falconic going deeper in the sea. Imagine he's only going to check these chests. Some money. And we have some more money. Meanwhile, Shadow's probably going to make quick work of Marsh, one would think, with those levels. Volcanic on to the floor before the Kraken. Money and a coral sword, and there's some ghosts. We know the ghosts are dangerous. We've seen them on ShadowWalker's side. Let's see what's in these tree chesties. Soft. Yeah, ShadowWalker isn't checking too much. It looks like he's going straight for the incentivizing Marsh.
Well, remember, he's already went through all this already when he did that dive.
Demon Frog, nope. We do have one loose left remaining. And we're pretty sure it's going to be the cube. Well, the second Falconic finds the cube, he's in goal mode, because he's got all the armor and weapons he needs. As the ShadowWalker, really, so... It's pretty well all coming down to this loose cube now. If ShadowWalker would go to... It's gotta be here, though. It's gotta be in C. It's either here or the Mermaid. Because I'm pretty sure we've checked everything else in the game. Unless it's Titan. It could be in Titan. Makes you wonder if ShadowWalker's actually going to make the Titan play once he gets out of here. No, he just noped out. He's not taking the Ruby with him.
And he's not checking any of the key-locked rooms.
So if he doesn't check them, we know he won't get power bombed. And if Falconic happens to check and that Ruby leads to the cube, this game is over. Yeah, would have to be mermaids right now. Falconic's getting slowed down, but he's with Sahags though, because he really doesn't have a lot of good AoE with this party at the moment. So this is where ShadowWalker could make up some good time. Because he does have the AoE to take this out.
And he misses that one chest on the first floor of C. I know it's not a big thing, but... I mean, I've seen that have the loose items there.
It's like Shadow's going down towards Kraken first as well. And we know Falconic still has to check Mirage Tower. ShadowWalker's already done that. So ShadowWalker finds the cube in here. He knows he can skip the first part of Mirage and just go straight through. Reza hangs with mute. That's not good.
I was kind of wondering why that fight took so long, and then I seen his white wizard had mute, and you can't cast anything while muted. You can't even use potions. You can't use magic items. Mute is actually pretty evil.
Yeah, I only learned that when I started playing this, that if you're muted, you can't use, like, the Zeus gauntlets, the power bonks, anything like that, so... Looks like we're gonna get a look at Kraken very soon, I would imagine. ShadowWalker following in Falconic's footsteps right now.
Yeah, so for anybody that's out there, that's one thing you have to realize is when you get them mutes and debuff, you cannot cast your potion or your peers and stuff like that, or any of your magic items. It's something that, you know, it's a weird, like, niche kind of a thing that might pop up for you, but they can mess you up, though.
Looks like Falconic's learned from the last and brought his red mage up, but too bad it got muted. So that didn't work out for him.
Yeah, for Tadaru in chat, yeah, you can't use potions. For whatever reason, the game says you can't use potions while being silenced.
And yeah, Crab, Shadow just might pass Falconic here, because Falconic's gonna have trouble with these fights. You can't run, and he's got no AoE. So he has to do it one shot at a time. Although with the white mage swinging the Mazmun and the fighter swinging the Vorpal, he will go semi-quick. Krabby does have the Zeus Gauntlet, but I think it's on the red mage right now, and the red mage is muted. So no Zeus Gauntlet for you.
I mean, whoever has the ribbon at this point, I would definitely put a Zeus Gauntlet on there to help get rid of these things a lot quicker.
Yeah, because ShadowWalker has already caught up to Falconic pretty much. If Falconic gets another one of those unrunnable fights, ShadowWalker will pass him.
When you have, when you have to take a drink and you don't have a mouth, do you just, I don't know, try and pour it up your nose?
You can snort it. You can put a straw up your nose.
I'm not sure how I like where this conversation's going.
It's gonna burn. But I suppose you could do it. Hey, I've seen people squirt milk out of their eyelids.
And on this note, both runners are on Kraken's floor at this. ShadowWalker's made up a lot of ground, able to use that Zeus Gauntlet to kill the Sahag things. And we got mirrored encounters of lobsters. The lobsters are running wild.
Male lobsters on the left, female lobsters on the right. Little known fact, female lobsters are actually blue. So it looks like Falconic is going to reach Kraken first.
But ShadowWalker's definitely made a lot of ground. Those Wiz Sahags and Red Sahag unrunnables have caused Falconic what was maybe like a 2 or 3 minute lead is now down to nothing.
Yeah, ShadowWalker has done an amazing job catching up in this match right now. Like, it's neck and neck again. See how the Kraken fight goes? ShadowWalker trying to break him. Oh, first try, Brack. And ShadowWalker has taken the lead. Falconic.
I think he might leave. Oh, he's leaving. And Falconic is maybe, 30 seconds of 45 seconds behind. Kills Kraken. He's lit his third orb. But he's doing what I think he should be doing. He's going to check mermaids. ShadowWalker, he's under this immense stress. He's made 3 risky gambles. They failed. And he's making these decisions that, I don't hate him for it. I don't at all. I totally understand it. And this is exactly what he's doing, unfortunately.
Yeah, he got the key, so it's flip a coin. Keylock chests or mermaid. What's quicker? Keylock chests are quicker than mermaids. He's taking the chance to gamble we know is not going to pay off, because we've seen what this has to offer already. But we'll see. It could be Titan. Titan could be the key, in which case ShadowWalker's gonna have to dig Marsh.
Oh, and that big eye is terrifying. If I ran into that, I would run away. Like that, my morale would have been broken by now, and I just would have ran.
Looks like something you do on Halloween when you put like spaghetti in a bowl and you make it feel like eyeballs and squishy stuff, brains. That's what it kind of looks like. So Falconic heading for mermaids.
Yeah, if somebody thought that I was saying hate the player, I know I shouldn't need to defend myself. I was saying I hate the move.
Alright, Falconic checking the mermaids. Looks like ShadowWalker is continuing to do his key locks. So let's see what ShadowWalker finds. There it is, folks. The cube in mermaids. Falconic is now in go. So we know Sarda won't get fed tonight. So I don't know why Falconic is still walking. Don't know what else he could be looking for. He has 2 ribbons, has the Mazmun, he's full weapons and armor.
He likes treasure, okay? Maybe he just wants to hang out with the mermaids a bit longer, you know? I think you're just doing a last-minute check, but maybe check for the 3rd ribbon just in case. Be able to protect that red wizard for the fast cast.
Now we have ShadowWalker heading for mermaids, so he will also find the cube very shortly. So this is going to come down to the TOFR, because I have a feeling Falconic's just going to go mode Sky.
Yeah, they're both gonna blow through Sky very quickly. Now, the only difference is, I think Shadow escaped out of a ribbon. I don't know if he went back for it, though, so he only has 1 ribbon.
And he's putting that Mazmun on the red mage, giving the white mage the Thor's hammer, which is the best weapon she can possibly use. Aside from the Mazza, of course. And there's those nightmares, folks. We all know what they can do.
Okay. Thank you for in chat. I did notice that he really didn't think that chest was going to have anything, so he reset as soon as he found the ribbon, and I wasn't sure if he went back for it or not.
Looks like Falconic is go-moding Sky. He hasn't. He's going to take the fights, which is a good idea, because get a few more levels just to be safe.
And he's got his red wizard up front just taking the hits. I don't blame it at this point, because if that red wizard dies, you just life 2 and you save your heal potions at this point. You don't have to go to the shops and buy more heal potions. You just cast a life 2 and bam, the red wizard is right back up.
Looks like ShadowWalker is checking the chest before mermaids first. That's going to slow him down just a little bit more. Meanwhile, Falconic's got his foot on the gas.
ShadowWalker runs into those unrunnables. Zeus goes off. The red Sahags. Ooh, they have some health. Okay, that could be problematic. Yep, there's the mute, but the 2 ribbons now has saved ShadowWalker from being mute.
I think we might see a 2-man strat for both parties going into TOFR. Yeah, and Falconic's just foot on the gas, foot to the floor. He's not even stopping for chests. He's going to take fights though, which I agree with, of course. Manticores with damage poison. That's pretty.
Now, this is kind of big on ShadowWalker's side. He's checking the other chest first and not doing mermaids first.
Yeah, he's even checking the key locked.
I have done this move, and let me tell you, it feels bad because mermaids itself, has a lot more chests and there's no battles, especially with the red Sahags casting mute and wasting time.
Dan is in tops. I don't know why either. I don't know what he's been doing with these mages throughout the battle. We'll have to ask him in the interview. It'd be interesting to find out.
I mean, the only thing I like about it is it saves heal potions essentially because you're using life 2 casts to res them up instead of using heal potions that take precious little seconds.
ShadowWalker's just gonna completely clear this floor and finds an Excal for his troubles, but with Devorpal and Mazmun, you gotta believe that, or not. He doesn't use Devorpal. I like Shadow already. Ooh, there's the 3rd ribbon. That Falconic will never see. So this might not have been a bad play in the end after all. especially if Topher is dangerous.
I mean, Shadow is proving how good of a player, of a racer he is. He has made an enormous amount of catch-up just off of, 3 gambling dives that failed. And I don't want to highlight that part, but like, he himself has played exceptionally to catch up and put himself in a position where he can catch up to Falconic like really quickly.
Falconic now on the Bridge of Destiny, so I see folks have already got their RNGs out, hoping to see a war mech. I have a feeling Falconic will fight it if he finds.
And Shadow's got his cube. He's in go mode. He goes instantly to Sky. Now he's going to try and catch up to Falconic at this point. And, Falconic's right there. The Bridge of Destiny almost at the end. Will we get our war mech?
Looks like Shadow's sticking with the 2-party strat, so I don't know if he's going to be bothering to bring those red mages back anytime soon. With the power bonk, you might want to bring them back for fast, but we'll see how these guys play.
So no war mech, but we have Tiamat. Brack comes out first turn. This time Falconic gets a good turn of events, or a good turn with Brack, and he's in go mode, or he's in Temple of Fiends go mode now.
Alright, looks like Falconic is set to enter TOFR. Meanwhile, Shadow's running into a few vampires. He does not have Harm 3 on that white mage, so he does have nothing really to fight them with.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why he did 2-man with a white wizard.
White shirt, maybe? Could be the only I could think of. But he's got the opal bracelet, doesn't he?
Yeah, both our runners have the opal bracelet. I'm not sure why he's doing 2-man with that instead of doing the two. Oh, okay. He wants to get levels on that white wizard to keep him alive since he has life 2.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And we got Falconic looking like he's going to be the first to enter TOFR at about the 1 hour, 49 minute, and 20 second mark.
Is he going to burn those 20 houses? Yes, he is. He's making sure not to save, and by doing that, he saves time on using up all these houses. He's going to put those heal in that very good spot where he only has to hit up on the directional pad 1 time.
Alright, here we go. Our first look into TOFR. Putting that fighter back in the top spot. Looks like he's going to 3-man. See, there's a lot of hype for Falconic bringing Team Vorpal into the limelight. Pretty sure you know a Vorpal person when you see them. Or hear them.
You can always hear a Team Vorpal person. As they're walking down, they're like, look at me, I have a Vorpal. Or, I wish I have a Vorpal. Meanwhile, the Mosses over there just cutting everything to pieces instantly.
The Vorpal reminds me of those Minecraft swords you used to be able to buy, the foam ones. You can just bonk people with. I'm gonna start calling it the Minecraft sword from now on.
The Minecraft sword. It's interesting, Shadow did all this to catch up, and then he stops to do a blue dragon fight. His levels aren't that bad, unless he's trying to get 23, 24 for that extra Masa hit. Because the 24 Masa gets its 5th hit. And I think he's got Excalibur, and the 5th hit on Excalibur is not until 29, and we all know he's not doing that.
It's like Shadow is... I haven't really been paying attention, but has he made it to Sky yet?
No, he's about to enter.
Oh yeah, he was just fighting the blue dragon. Looks like he's got the levels he wants on the white mage. So we can only see him go moding this place as well, so...
the Medusas Falconic is run into. Luckily, they only have 11 hits and no special effects, so that's a pretty easy fight.
Yeah, if they got 10 hits and they got something like Poison Touch or Stone Touch, you're gonna have a bad time.
How bad of a time? I mean, I believe there was a race that really highlighted how mean of the Medusas are, or the green Medusas are. I just can't remember where that came from or who it was between.
I think they had Nuke. I think they had Nuke or something. First Strike Nuke. Or Thunder, I think it was. Thunder.
For all you out there, it was Wilkiosis versus Tristal. They had Death Touch with 11 hits and Ambush. Oh, and Blaze. Or, yeah, Blaze, just for the fun of it.
Well, we're gonna get our first look at Lich. Looks like Falconic is gonna respect Lich and bring Dan halfway up. Or we seen Lich, I guess.
We did?
I did.
I don't think there was anything there. I think Falconic just whipped out the Vorpal and Lich moved aside and he just walked past.
Could very well be. And now we get the first look at Carry 2. He's gonna fast up the fighter. Gonna put up some defensive wall. See what kind of shot the Mazmun's gonna do here. 10 hits, 386. Carry hit pretty hard. Oh, and Shadow found Warmack.
He's taking the fight. I like it.
We got Warmack on one side, and we got Carry 2 on the other side. And Falconic's fighter is down.
Carry brought the hurt. The smackdown, some may say. Yeah, he's got 5 or 6 hits with a lot of strength. Ooh.
Oh, and Warmack has Nuke and just wipes out. Wow, folks, we got a big match on both sides here. This wipe here could be what could be what ShadowWalker needs to catch up if Falconic wipes. And he's not doing much damage with that Vorpal on a red maid.
But Shadow's through, able to defeat the robot chicken, and he's attacking Carry. Thankfully, he's got all the invises out. So, Falconic's in it still. As long as that white mage does not die, he's got life too.
Yeah, it looks like Carry's pretty heavy-handed too. He likes to attack. I think that's only maybe the second spell we've seen. Oh, there's Fire 3. Not hitting for much with that Vorpal though. And a second Warmack for Shadow. But with just a fighter left, he can't take that on. He gets away. Vorpal might get it done, but it's going to give ShadowWalker the chance he needs to catch up. And if Carry happens to pull out Nuke or Nuclear or something right now, this could smell bad for Falconic, because then there's the Nuke. Down goes Falconic.
Now, remember this. Falconic's Knight is the same level about that ShadowWalker's is. Carry basically manhandled Falconic's. If he does the same thing to ShadowWalker, Shadow's in the same amount of trouble too.
Uh-oh, I'm getting blamed in chat for commentator's curse all of a sudden. This just got interesting, folks. Because ShadowWalker has all 4 orbs. Oh, no, 3. Thought he had seed. No, he doesn't have seed. He has seed done, doesn't he?
Yes, he has C.
Ah, there's the 4th orb. Looks like ShadowWalker is going to be hot on Falconic's heels. Now, Falconic does have knowledge that Carry 2 does have Nuke, but he likes to hit hard first.
I mean, it's rough because he only has life available on his white wizard. If he puts, his red mage out there, and Carry destroys that front shield tank, and then somehow homes in on that white wizard, now he's only got the knight for the rest of Temple of Fiends. So, how do you set that up? You almost have to put the knight out there, the defense and white shirt, and hope that the knight can take the shots early.
Yeah, because it wasn't the fact that Carrie was hitting hard. He just hit the knight twice. So if he only would hit the knight once, and they could heal the knight, then you'd have the chance. But I can see Falconic going all out on the offense when he gets to Carrie the next time, and just hoping he can get Carrie before she can take down the knight.
So Falconic re-entered at 1 hour and 55. Shadow enters at 1 hour and 56 minutes. So there's about a 1 minute and 29 second lead between Falconic and Shadow at this point. Falconic has more information about at least the two Fiends, but Shadow has information about Nuke being on Warmac.
But we do know there is 2 nukes out of the pool now. But there's still a lot left in. Oh, and Lich with Crack taking out the red mage.
I have to admit, at this point, losing the red mage doesn't hinder Falconic at this point. I think he's using it as a fast bot, and that's pretty much it. And maybe Invis 2 if needed.
Also, another important fact pointed out in chat by Tarman is ShadowWalker formatting this with a Mazmun and a couple of red mages. He could be quicker than Falconic. Because we've seen if Falconic's knight goes down, he's got no other weapon. He's pretty well dead in the water.
Falconic puts that red wizard out. 1 shot. Now that white wizard is very, very vulnerable. He's only got 1 white shirt and Viz out. Now 2. So he got a good turn order. He might be able to survive. But luckily, Carrie goes after the knight. That knight is now fully defense. Well played by Falconic. He gets the ruse out. Now that white wizard can't be 1 shot.
No, he's got to go on the offense before that nuke comes out. Meanwhile, we have ShadowWalker at Lich. Pretty easy fight. Carrie's a little bit tough taking those shots from the Mazmun and surviving here. I think Falconic's got about 800, 900 damage into him now. Carrie coming up with Fire 3. I'm pretty sure there was an Ice 3 and then a nuke, but it doesn't matter.
And that was a beefy Carrie. You know, Shadow's going to find out real quick how much or how dangerous Carrie is with those nukes in there.
See if Carrie decides to be nice and attacks before giving out the nuke. Falconic now making his way towards Kraken 2, which we know is normally the first of the gatekeepers, if there is one.
First turn, next scale, 220. There goes 1 red wizard. A fast comes out for ShadowWalker's side. White shirt out. So the white wizard is still, if Carrie Holmes are, 811 by the knight. Okay, good attacks. Second invis coming out from the white shirt. Carrie attacks okay, just enough invis stacks. Kraken 2 has been pulled on the left by Falconic. He does the same sort of strategy he did against Carrie at this point.
Kraken with Inferno. ShadowWalker gets through Carrie with only 1 casualty, but he's got life 2. So Falconic gonna try to break Kraken, ineffective. Gonna ruse up. Swing for the Mazmun 10, it's 315. Oh, Kraken with Bane, but ineffective on all 3. Another swing for the Mazmun, 9 hits 251. Ozzy, another white shirt, putting up those defenses, because we all know Kraken, when he wants to hit, he's gonna hit. Then Blizzard comes out and takes down the red. Gonna cure up his white mage. Swing with the Mazmun again, 10 hits 301. Kraken quad X, no effect. Ozzy gets the cure off. Another round. Another white shirt, more defense. Hawk takes another swing at Carrie. Kraken, 3 hits 9. 9 hits 378. This is gonna be close. Oh, and Falconic gets ambushed by the Rainbow Vampire Party here. That could be dangerous because they hit hard, and down goes the Red Mage again.
ShadowWalker's top red mage gets shot. 6 hits, 660. That's a second white shirt on the right-hand side for him. The white wizard can still die from that Kraken if she hits hard. But it looks like if he gets one more white shirt off, that white mage should be safe. The Team Edward fan party on the left is giving Falconic some trouble. ShadowWalker swings for 681. Kraken's not long for living here. There it is. So now ShadowWalker's caught up. He's going to run into the Team Edward fan club again, and let's see if he can make quick work of that to catch up to Falconic.
Oh, Falconic gets ambushed by a second pack of them, and ShadowWalker passes him.
He got the...
Oh, no.
The rock goals are a lot easier compared to those vampires. He's able to move it on.
Looks like Falconic is going to take the battle, because he's bruising up his white mage. Oh, white mage gets stunned. Defenses up his fighter. This ain't looking good for Falconic. Stopped. Could be stun locked. Oh no, this is disaster. Meanwhile, ShadowWalker has pulled Tiamat 2. Tiamat 2 comes out with nuclear. Ooh, doesn't wipe out anybody though. Low rolls, fastening up his fight. Oh, and down goes the fighter on Falconic's side. Vampire got a crit.
He's out though. He made it away from the Team Edwards on the right. ShadowWalker did a 516 with Masa. Gets the Cure 4 off. The White Wizard is safe unless a high nuke roll, but nukes are pretty much out of it right now.
And Falconic with the Life 2s and the Cure 4 has got his party back up quickly. And he is as well taking on Tiamat 2. ShadowWalker down to just 2 party members, but down goes Tiamat.
So ShadowWalker managed to evade the Team Edward party pack of vampires and whiz vampires. Was able to take out Tiamat 2. Falconic's battling his way through. His red wizard's down again. He's been damned so many times this entire race. It's been crazy. Nuclear comes out. We are in red warning for all of his light warriors now. Fire 3 still hits really hard. 9 hits, 957. Falconic's catching up. We are on the last boss here shortly, and they are just going to be racing for it.
ShadowWalker pulls him first, going to fast up his fighter. Too fast on his fighter won't work, but Chaos first skill Blaze, that's not bad. First fast goes out, fighter's all fasted, that's going to be ineffective there. White shirt for defense. Meanwhile, Falconic has made Chaos. I don't know how to call this, this is going to be close. Looks like ShadowWalker's keeping to put up his defenses, powering up his fighter. More white shirt cast, more invis, more defense in case Chaos decides to take a swing. Chaos does take a swing and takes out Bill. Looks like ShadowWalker's going with Brack strats on the red mage and swinging away with the Masmo and 6 hits. Oh, Chaos with nuclear! No, folks, I can't say it. It's PG. Meanwhile, Falconic putting up white shirt, going with Brack strats as well. This could come down to who can break. I don't even know who to call. This is that good.
Another nuclear. He's down to 1 knight on ShadowWalker's side. He's got to start
Man
swinging.
mode engaged.
Oh my god, 1682 by Masa. Back to back, 1329. Oh! And ShadowWalker takes game 3. Wow!
GG to ShadowWalker. Wow, this was close. Falcon is going to finish off Chaos shortly. Swinging with that Masmo, 9 hits, 441. Down goes Chaos for Falconic. G, get your runners out. I'll get your runners out. Get your GGs out for both these runners, folks. That was one heck of a match.
16 seconds separated these two. They just tore into Temple of Fiends Revisited. Shadow showed just how scary he is, because he went in and he crushed some of those hard fights. That carry fight, that carry 2 fight, getting in there and killing carry 2 where Falconic had wiped in 1 turn. I mean, this is why Shadow's a top tier racer right there.
And GG to both our runners. How was that seed, boys?
It would have felt a lot better had I not been an idiot.
I guess we're talking about doing Waterfall so late play?
Leaving the inner sea and just memory holing the canoe? Yep.
We were kind of wondering about that, because, you know, you did kill Carrie, you did do Ice Cave, and then you went to Onrak, and then you just kind of left and did, Mirage, you did Earth, and you did Marsh. And I just thought maybe you were taking gambles, but it just turned out, what, you forgot you had the canoe?
Yep. I don't know how I forgot that I had the canoe, given that I had to use the canoe to get to both Volcano and Ice Cave to get the ship originally. But for whatever reason, I left the Inner Sea and my brain went, I don't have the canoe, so I can't go do Onrak or Waterfall. So I full cleared Earth pre-Rod, and then I full cleared Marsh Cave, and I full cleared Mirage, and then I said, wait a second, I'm an idiot. And I thought I was going to lose at that point.
So, Falconic, I guess you're not going to like the Twilight sequels coming up, are you?
Yeah, they were pretty gross, but I got lucky and got away from them, so I can't complain.
No, those vampires were disgusting. They had so much HP and hit so hard.
That is when Shadow actually passed you. You were in the lead the whole time, till that fight, when Shadow passed you.
That's surprising considering the party I had. I two-manned it for a lot of the way, just fighter and white mage.
Yeah, we were going to ask you, what was the deal with that? You were bringing them up, putting them down, bringing them up, putting them down.
So it's something that I'm practicing with now. It's a new strategy that if you can Dan him off early, I like to call it the floating Dan. He's dead when I need him dead, and he's alive when I'm going through dungeons where, like in Earth, where I needed something to clear out large packs of people, and then he'd die again. So he just kept coming up and down. He's Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's. I did a chicken ritual on him.
Yeah, I kind of liked it, and I was wondering if, because like towards the end of it for Sky and Mirage and stuff like that, you had him in the first slot. I'm like, I think he's just using it to save the heal potions, but unless you had it for another idea, I'm not.
Yeah, no, just so that if anyone takes the hits, he takes the hits, and I keep on running. And I mean, worst case scenario, you had life too, so you could pick him back up. But I like it. I mean, it's still a work in progress. I don't know if it's ever going to be viable, but two-man obviously has its benefits, and a lot of people run three-mans all the time. So worst case scenario, you've got him up the majority of the time, and it's just a standard three-man. But it gives you the flexibility to kind of go with the flow. And if he dies, he dies. No big deal. You just two-man it. And my levels look good. I didn't have to stop anywhere and grind, so it certainly works in that aspect.
Now, I mean, I was talking, when you joined in ShadowWalker, but, you showed why you are a top-tier racer. I mean, after doing those dives, forgetting about Canoe, the way you moved around the continent with your airship, fought your battles, exited out of stuff. I mean, you made catch-up very quickly on Falconic when he had a pretty substantial lead because of, those trips.
I had to. I had to play like a maniac, and I really, really was trying to not dig another loose chest. I went and did all the incentive locations as fast as I possibly could, and saw that the Marsh Lock had the ruby, and I said a few choice words, and then said, okay, time to keep digging chests.
I mean, there was definitely a lot of us in chat, and even, I gotta admit myself, was kind of hoping that the Titan Trove would have held the cube, but at the same time, that would have been kind of bad for you. But, I mean, you were going so fast, you reset out of a ribbon, and I had to ask chat whether or not you went back for it, because it was so instant. Like, you checked the chest and reset. I was like, I think that was a ribbon.
It was, and if I hadn't seen that split-second ribbon, I totally would have never had that ribbon, because I was literally just, is it the jingle? No, move on. Is it the jingle? No, move on. Is it the jingle? No, move on. And, like, I was mashing reset as fast as I could.
Which ribbon did you reset out of?
The Elfland Castle key locked.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if that's how I'm going to go out, that's the way I want to go out. Shadow, I know you really are really wanting to win this entire tournament. So, like I said, I'm glad you won and took the series. And to push you to game 3 and to come within, 20 seconds? That's like the perfect way for me to go out, because I'm done with the tournament. Everyone knows I'm ready to move on to the co-op, and I know you're itching to take on one of your best friend, Tarnan. So that's going to be a fun one to watch. But GG, man, this is the way I wanted it to go, exactly like this.
Yeah, man. Total respect for you as a runner, as a friend, as a member of the community. You know that. I've said it time and again. I would not have rather gone against somebody like you. I can't think of anybody that I would have wanted to play as just a friendly bracket stage. It was awesome. I like doing the fun parties.
Yeah, I'm sad. That's the only thing I'm sad about is that with me being out, now it's really going to rely on other people to have fun with it. Otherwise, I think the fans are just going to see some pretty standard, boring parties, and that's not fun. So hopefully somebody does something weird, at least for one of their games.
I mean, I'm playing to win, but that doesn't mean I'm going to go with the safe strats.
I mean, I wouldn't expect it at all from you, ShadowWalker. You. I mean, at the same time, though, that carry fight was real dangerous, and you still showed how to, bust through him really quickly while adjusting. Poor Falconic didn't get a chance for that, though, because Carrie was the gatekeeper of sorts at the start.
She hit pretty hard. I mean, that's proof that you have to respect Carrie too. I went in, I think, with just the white shirt. Had I done one defensive ruse, I think I would have survived. But she just cracked my fighter.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I was less than 100 away from knocking her out with the Red Wizard Vorpal, but it just wasn't meant to be.
No, she was pretty beefy. You were a ways away.
I swear from that Q block on, I had to have everything go my way in order to win that, because if anything had gone even a split second different, Falconic would have beat me. So I lost. I intentionally got my Red Wizards killed off as I was digging for the cube, just so that way I could get some extra levels on the fighter, because I was still only like level 21 on the fighter, and managed to get into Sky, got to level 23 off the Bloody, and said, okay, I'll hit 24 on my way. Got up to the Bridge of Destiny, got ambushed by Warmac.
Again? I never saw him.
Decided to fight him. He had both nuke and nuclear. And my knight barely survived to be able to kill him and got 4 levels off it. Then I got ambushed again by Warmac, and he punched me for 370 damage before I got a turn. And I managed to get the first turn run. But that either of those Warmacs going any differently could have cost me the race.
Yeah. I was hoping to see him. I think every race you and I had, you've seen him and I haven't, and that sucks.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we'll have some final thoughts from you, gentlemen.
I think I've already said mine. Shadow, I've told you in PMs, I hope you win this because I'm ready to move on to the co-op tournament. And to go to Game 3 and come within 20 seconds, you couldn't script it better. That would be the way I want to go out, knowing that I have the potential of going toe-to-toe with you because I think you're one of the best in the community. So it makes me feel good that I can keep up with you, and now I get to focus on ruining everyone's day with co-op flags coming up.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the co-op. I'm going to try and go as far as I can in this tournament. Top 4 is my goal. Of course, I'd like to win it all, but there's a lot of stiff competition in this tournament, so top 4 is my goal.
All right, Canuck, you want to say some last words?
Nope, I think everything that needs to be said was said. This was one heck of a race. GG to Bodias, and ShadowWalker, good luck going forward, buddy. Know you're going to do well. And Falconic, I'll see you in the co-op.
Yes, sir. Thanks,
Speaking of that, I'll actually see you on that too. But for more FFR randomizer action at 5 o'clock, One Fine Day versus St. Von Jester for Game 2 will be going on Speed Gaming 1. And then if there's a Game 3, that's right after on Speed Gaming 2. And we also have Wilkliosis versus Lord Fizzlebeef tonight at 8 on Speed Gaming 4, tentatively. And at 9, Spellzap versus Minochi. So we have a packed schedule of races tonight. My name is Dingwu. I was joined in the booth by the Angry Canuck. And in the background was Danny383. Speed Gaming, thank you. You, the racers, provide us with endless amounts of entertainment. Thank you to both of you. Great race. And I hope to see you all tonight at 5 o'clock for One Fine Day versus St. Von Jester, where I will be joined by Caleb for more FFR action. Thank you and have a great day.